Hello and welcome back to The Broken Doll, and tonight I come to you with some very interesting things that I like to bring up again about the Kewpie doll. Now, Liz, from All Things Fairy, she brought up, why does my doll, my Kewpie doll, say Cameo, and yet it has on the back of the head, and yet on the body it says Jesco? I made a video about that yesterday, why that was so. But tonight I'm coming to you with another little twist to this that I found out about, and this time the twist is about Antoinette Trevingo. She was showing her beautiful Kewpie dolls. She made a video up about it, and I'm going to link both those ladies' channels down below so that you can go to her channel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to both All Things Fairy and to Antoinette Trevingo's channel. They're very interesting women, and you'll be delighted by their channel. Now, here's the thing. Antoinette Trevingo was showing off her Kewpie dolls, and one of them said Cameo, and then down below on the body it said F&B. Why is that one? That's another twist to this as well. But we're going to untwist that little secret, and we'll find out about it. Because in my book about Kewpies, I found something. It says Hard Plastics 1949. Remember that year, 1949, because that's very important to a lot of things I've been saying also on my videos. F&B Doll Company. From 1946 to 1943, the F&B Doll Company was owned by Noma Electric Corporation. Noma F&B made all composition dolls from 1946 to 1949. The hard plastic Kewpie dolls made in 1949 may be the very first all hard plastic dolls packaged in an F&B box, although they still carried the Cameo label. The F&B hard plastic Kewpie has sleep eyes and is fully jointed. From 1950 to 1953, Noma F&B continued to make hard plastic and vinyl dolls. After 1953, the F&B Doll Company was under ownership of Bernard Baum. In 1971, F&B was purchased by Leroy Fathom and Roy R. Raisin. As of the writing of this book in 1986, F&B was sold again. The all hard plastic, fully jointed Kewpie with sleep eyes from F&B is 13.5 inches tall. In 1986, Jesco Incorporation made a 6-inch hard plastic Kewpie that has jointed arms. Why am I reading this? Well, Antoinette Trevingo's doll had F&B on the back of it. Snap. Well, it shows you here that F&B was involved also with the Kewpie doll, just like other companies were. It seems to me what I've been reading throughout this book here is that different hands were involved in producing the Kewpie doll. So if you get one that says on the back F&B, very true. It's still a Cameo Rose O'Neill Kewpie with F&B backing it. And if you have one with Jesco, it is Jesco now owning that doll, the Kewpie doll, and producing it. So you have all the, and Knickerbocker was another one. We found out there were other companies. There's other companies as well that along the years. Remember, the Kewpie doll came out in 1912. So 1912, 1913 when they were starting to be produced. So there's, we're already over 100 years old, and these dolls were mass produced. So that is great and wonderful in its own way. That all happened in there, but it does add to confusion for us as collectors. Why is my doll saying two names on it? It's just ownership of the doll. So it's the same story as Jesco as it is with F&B. It wouldn't be to my surprise somebody else comes along and says, well, I have a Kewpie doll with another name on it, and it wouldn't surprise me that there was another company on there. It just seems like they were, the company was being handed down, handed. And yeah, this is just what happened here. Now, why was 1949? I was telling you to remember that time period. The reason is because on many of my videos, I said to you that plastics came out in the late 40s, early 50s. And this is when plastic dolls were coming out, and it was just after the World War II. And you gotta remember, plexiglass was coming out for the airplanes, for the shields on the airplane, and plastics were starting to take form. Plastic was starting to come into our homes and our cars and everything else around the world, and it also came through toys. And even still, though, I'm going to tell you this, toys still had steel in them, like games and everything. I'm going to give you, for an example, my brother got a game for Christmas called Battling Tops. Now, Battling Tops, back in the day, in the 60s there, when we got the game, it was a metal, steel Okay, what's battling tops? You wind the string around your top, you put it in a little thing there, and you pull the string, and you have to make sure yours stands and knocks down everybody else's. You have no more force on it than what happens as it slows down. And if yours is still spinning, you're the winner. And it was called battling tops. Now, the bowl that it sat in, the arena that it sat in, was made of metal. And then there was plastic pieces that went around. So you can see the steel was still there, the metal, but the plastic was coming in. So now today, I saw battling tops not too long ago, but the whole thing is now plastic. I don't know how that, on the metal, those things could fly. They actually would fly right out of the arena. And yet today, I don't know if they will still do that or not, plastic with plastic, but plastic on steel was wonderful. They really spun, and we loved that game. I don't know if we wore the thing out. I know we had to put new string on some of them, but we enjoyed that game, battling tops. You can go take a look at it if you want to. So you can just see the transformation of all the toys, how plastic was coming in. So even today, a lot of the old games that we played are now being inundated with more plastic than they were back in our day. I know I think it was Kerplunk. No, I don't know, or was it Hands Down? It was a metal piece down below the base of it or something. Or was it Tippet or something, had metal in it as well. And today it's all plastic. A lot of those games are all plastic today. But anyways, but you can see how things were changing as plastics came in more and more, and we're becoming more comfortable with making things. They inundated us with plastic all around us. So let's go. Now we have that there. I want to show you something else which I found amazing. If I know I put a piece of paper in there. Maybe it's not showing. Let's hope it is. This book is a beautiful book. If you ever want to get it, it's by John Axe. Oh my goodness, did I take the paper out, or did it fall down or fall out? Okay, I can look for it at the back here. Let me see. I got it. Actually, there's an F&B section here. In here, 114. Let's go see if we can find it here. This will show you here. Yeah, this is it. Okay. I was just bypassing it. Look at here. This is 1949 on the back of an F&B catalog. This is what was on there. But look what it reads. Now, all plastic Kewpie dolls with moving eyes. Plastic was being pushed. And this is what happened. Now, back in the day, also, a lot of, I remember dolls would come out. Let me see that you can see that. Just want to keep it centered so you can see that. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that nifty? And I just want to talk about that. There are dolls that came out, we call them Frankenstein dolls today. What is a Frankenstein doll? Well, it can be two things, but the one I want to refer more to, it could be a person that puts a doll together, like my Shirley Temple baby right here, which I thought was a Shirley Temple. This is a Frankenstein baby, okay? It has an R&B body with a Shirley Temple head. That's a Frankenstein baby, but a true Frankenstein baby was back in 1949 into the 50s. They were inundated still with a lot of composition heads and even body parts. But they wanted to also sell plastic. A lot of dolls were combined with a composition head and plastic limbs. So now the little mummy, that her little baby doll, she can now wash its arms and wash its legs. Sometimes they were given a plastic body and the head was put on. And now it can wash the body, but you don't get the head wet, In time, plastic heads came out. And whatever happened to all the leftover parts that were mass-produced by doll companies from the years before 1949, hopefully most of them got to be dolls, and maybe a lot of them were burnt, for all we know. And that, I hang my head, I go, oh my goodness, but it happened. But anyways, yes, so, those dolls they're trying to use up the parts and everything. So it's interesting to what happened, to a lot of these dolls. And you will see, as time goes on, if you get a doll closer to the end of the 40s into the 50s, you will see a lot of dolls with different parts on them. And material parts, I'm talking about. Composition head, sometimes composition arms as well, with a vinyl body and vinyl legs. You will see a mixture of everything. Those are and some people think someone put a doll together. Not always true. A lot of the times, they were manufactured that way. They were put together that way. A doll was made, a doll was born, and you used up some of the parts and got rid of that doll. And there you go. And a lot of those dolls were sold in cheaper end stores where mom and dad could afford better for their children. And little girl was happy because why, she had a baby in her arms. So there we go. What a wonderful thing we found out. Thank you, Antoinette, for putting on that video yesterday and opening our eyes and our world to something new and different that we've never really concentrated on these different names on the back of our dolls. Yet her doll still said Cameo. They did that. F&B said the doll still said Cameo, but it was produced by F&B Company. Why would it still say Cameo on there? Because the Cameo doll name was the name you wanted to see on your Kewpie doll because it made it true, a true Kewpie. And that's the original name to the Kewpie doll was Cameo Kewpie. And when you see the Cameo Kewpie on there, you know you got a true Kewpie doll and just sold by another company. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and there's a lot more of history coming too when it comes to these dolls. Ask the questions. Maybe I can find out some truths about it. We can uncover things. It looks like these books have uncovered a lot already, but the information is sitting inside. We just need to crack the books open and find it. A lot of the times it's hard to find this on the internet. It's better to find it in your books because it holds the story of every doll out there. Well, most dolls anyways. So anyways, thank you for joining me. Come back again. There's more of this wonderful stuff that we're going to learn about. And the history of dolls, how we restore them, and everything else. Isn't this great? I think it's wonderful. But anyways, we're going to close the book up for now. It's called Kewpie's Dolls in Art by John Axe. There we go. A great book to have in your library of doll books. Thank you for joining me. Come back again. Give me a thumbs up if you like. And a comment, because that's my mail in the air. Thank you again. Bye-bye.